Ready?
Yeah.
I'm here with Madecipha, doing an interview. What's up, Max Omega? How have you been hanging in there during this coronavirus quarantine?
Sally's in the building. Tiger Queen. It's, you know, I'm all right. You know, I hope everybody else is okay. I've been in the studio pretty much most of the time. I leave to go to my girlfriend's house and to like, you know, if I need something, you know, I go out with a mask on. It's been annoying. I mean, I don't want to. It's affected everybody, so I don't want to sound like whatever. But I mean, there's been the part of it that, you know, they're like, all right, social distancing and all that. I've been down here. I've been writing a lot. I've been going over tracks. I've been watching a lot of Police Academy and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and all those movies from the 80s and the 90s when I was a kid, and just rewatching old stuff and, you know, working on art and stuff like that. For that, it's been kind of cool, you know, getting caught up cleaning the studio, just doing little things around. But as far as like it shutting everything down, you can't go out. It makes you this whole situation with this coronavirus has made you appreciate just like simple luxuries like going to the grocery store. Like, you go to the grocery store, and I went this morning, I had to get some stuff for dinner for me and my girlfriend, and there's like, they make you wait outside, and there's like tape, and you have to stand there, and then you have to stand there, and then they only let a couple people in. And you're crazy. Like, you know, everyone's kind of like, this shit sucks. But I mean, you know, we little things that I don't want to say we took for granted. It's just no one ever thought that something like this would happen. And now that it's like that, I think, you know, I'm speaking for everybody, like, yeah, I can't wait for things to get back to normal, but I'm trying my best to just be productive while this is happening.
Yeah. Any word on when the Eidolon album will drop?
Yeah, so this whole thing kind of messed up the Eidolon CD release party, which sucks because, you know, we're planning on a good turnout. I've been making a couple bucks at these shows, and that's been really nice too. I got in with a couple of venues, and, you know, I've been doing them like every other month, you know, making a few dollars, getting some artists to come down and stuff like that. So if you are an artist and you're interested in playing, you know, local New Haven shows, get at me through my website or whatever. But yeah, it messed it up, and it was kind of a, you know, it was Fat Meezy's birthday show, Eidolon's CD release party. Eidolon's been working on this album for a long time, and it's been like delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed, and literally it's done. We have to make we have to have James come over and lower the ad-libs on one song, and then we press it. That's it. It's done. The album cover's done. I mean, literally, there's one little tiny tweak that we found that we need to get done, and we're probably going to do it next week now that this is happening. I'm going to have him come back down and everything like that. But I mean, it's finished. We were ready to rock and roll and do this, and then this whole thing happened, and he went and stocked up on a bunch of, he got kids, he went and stocked up on a bunch of food. I went out and did that. It was like, you know, we spent money that we were going to press the CDs with on supplies and stuff. It really delayed everything. So now they're saying that the heat kills it. We don't know if this is true or not. We're not there yet. We don't know what's going to happen. But we're hoping that by August, everything is back to normal. It's hot. July comes, wipes everything out, back to normal. My birthday's the 8th. The 7th is a Friday. I do a lot of Friday shows. I already talked to the guy about getting Friday the 7th in August for a birthday show, which usually turns out well for me, and release Eidolon's project then, according to plan. But if this, who knows what's going to happen with this, if it is or it isn't going to go away.
Yeah.
Like, I can't really answer that other than we're planning for August at this point.
Yeah, the virus dies at 78 degrees, so once it's warmer.
Hopefully by July it goes away, and we'll be doing shows in August. So
how's ghost hunting?
It's non-existent right now. We're not ghost hunting. Last time, where we go, Milford?
Yeah, we did Milford just get some.
Like right when they declared that, you know, there's a curfew and that you had to
be in by 8.
Be in by 8, and what else was there? They were declaring like the beginning of the quarantine. Like my girlfriend's calling me. Hold on, babe. I'm in the middle of doing an interview. I'll call you right back. Bye. My girlfriend. Like, yeah, right in the middle, we went out one time, got a couple grave rubbings, and we haven't gone out since. And it sucks because I'm working on a couple projects, like my next book and everything like that is about, like, it's my journal entries for as many times as we went, so we really haven't been going out that much. And I need, for this year, to get entry after entry and entry, I basically need to go a whole bunch, and it ends in September, exactly 10 years from the first entry, and this is obviously putting a damper on those plans. Again, it's putting a damper on everyone's plans for everything, and my ghost hunting projects and stuff are being affected as well, because you're not supposed to be out at nighttime, and there's no one really on the road, and cops are pulling everybody over. So I'm not trying to find out if we're gonna get pulled over or not.
Tell us about the new project you're working on.
I released the cover last night. My boy Thomas did the cover. He's been doing a lot of covers for me lately. He's put out maybe, like, I don't know how many now, but like 5 or 6. But he's my graphics guy at this point. He hit a home run. It's called Appetite for Dysfunction. We redid Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. We redid the cover with the cross and the skull face and the words going up the sides and the red and yellow scheme and everything, and it looks really dope. It's an 8-track EP. It's produced by Evo Productions, and these beats they're like commercial, but they're like kind of scary and eerie at the same time, and it all meshes together really well. And I spent more time working on this one as of now lately and putting it all together than I did my last one. Like, Arguments with God was really dope and it came out good and everything like that, but there wasn't like a lot of time that I sat on it and like went over it 50 times. Like, I kind of wrote it, made sure everything was tight, and then started recording right away. But this one, I started writing it almost a year ago, and I've been really going over it, and it's like different kind of lyrics. It's kind of like biblical paranormal horror. Like, I'm doing a lot of songs like Mephibosheth the Broken or Gethsemane and stuff like that have a lot of like religious kind of references, and then it also has my normal kind of stuff in there. So my style kind of changed a little bit, and I really like Evo as a producer. He's kind of given me the beats that I've been looking for since me and Anthro and Live kind of had a fallout. That eerie kind of sound to him, and our little thing that we got going on right now is working. So I'm gonna see how this one does, but I'm excited about it for sure.
So what's your thoughts on the latest John Jones arrest? Being such a diehard UFC fan,
we just take a moment to acknowledge how dope Sally is.
She's beautiful. She's so sweet.
What's up, Sally? John Jones. All right. Yeah, I met John Jones about 10 years ago in August at UFC 118 Fan Fest. I was there when he beat Shogun. I was there when he beat Chael Sonnen. I'm obviously like a real diehard UFC guy. I know there's like different levels to being a UFC guy, and I mean, I'm like really into it. I don't miss any events. I read all the interviews every day. I'm on SureDog every day, mixedmartialarts.com every day. MMA on point, watch all the videos. I mean, I'm like as into it as you could be. And John Jones, whether you like the guy or not, his personal choices, he's maybe been a little kind of sketchy and stuff, but he is definitely a great fighter. He's known as being the GOAT, whether you like it or not. He's the GOAT, and I thought everything was cool. His last fight was kind of Like, I think he won, but I think it was kind of a lackluster fight. I think Thiago Santos, the fight before that, did a much better job than Dominic Reyes, and I think that's a fight that I would want to see again, or have, with this whole situation, if they strip him, them fight for the interim title, Reyes versus Santos. But John Jones kind of he's losing steam. Like, he's not performing as well as he used to. He obviously has some kind of, I don't want to slander the guy, but he actually has some kind of drinking problem or problem with drugs. He keeps getting into trouble. He can't stay. I guess he took a plea deal, I read, and he's gonna stay out of trouble for a year and this, that, and third. And he keeps being such a rock star that he is. He keeps getting slaps on the wrist. Now, I'm not saying that I wish government punishment, arrest, or anything like that on anyone, because what I mean? But I mean, at a certain point, when you're on top of the world and everything like that, I don't know, like you know what I mean? Like, if you know what I mean, I don't want the dude to go to jail, and everyone's like, oh, it's a second DUI, you should go to jail. Like, I'm not saying I want that to happen to him, but I mean, maybe they should suspend him for a year. I mean, I don't know. Like, you gotta, at some point, you can't you can't let the dude just get away with whatever he wants to.
I think he's gonna keep getting away.
Yeah, like everybody else is kind of like, oh, John Jones got in trouble again. John Jones got in trouble again. John Jones got in trouble again, and it's just kind of like, you know, he hits and runs of woman. He's doing coke off hookers' asses, or I don't care if he bangs hookers. That's none of my business. But my point being, like, it's like, you know,
if it wasn't Jim Jones, if it was somebody else.
If you're gonna be the guy of the company, if you're gonna be that guy, like. You know, like, it's just kind of like, it's funny, I read someone's like, yo, this dude doesn't even know how to quarantine right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we're all like, if you want to, like, go in your basement and drink tequila and go outside and pop off rounds and all that shit, that's fine. But what are you doing driving around with a gun, drinking tequila in the middle of nowhere when you know there's cops out? Like, it was just a really stupid choice. So I kind of can't sympathize with him, but I kind of, you know, me being a fan of his, I want to see him get his shit together.
What do you think of 2020 so far?
I think that when 2012 happened, you know, they had the movie 2012 and the aliens and the Mayan calendar, and everyone thought something was going to happen. And I remember the day, 12/21/2012, it was just windy outside, and I was all like suspenseful. Is something going to happen? Is nothing going to happen? Whatever. And nothing happened. And then time went, and we're talking, that was like almost 8 years ago now, and nothing happened. And now all of a sudden we hit 2020, and just like out of nowhere, it's. You know, I don't think this is the end of the world by any means. It's not the Black Plague. People aren't like, and then dying, you know what I mean? Like, but I mean, it's pretty, I also think they're kind of, you know, I see a lot of, you know, crisis actors. I see a lot of crisis acting going on with this whole thing. They're making it out to be, like, how do you know exactly how many people have it when you don't know how many people have the, you know what I mean? They're just, it's just kind of weird. Like, I believe it's out there and it is what it is. I'm not saying it's a government conspiracy. I'm not that guy or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, you know, maybe some good came from it. They're talking about, like, how nature's restoring itself and all that, and I'm like, that's cool. And that's cool that, you know, we put a big Band-Aid on Earth and everyone is friends now, and, you know, we all social distance and we did artsy stuff and we did all that stuff, but it's like, I'd like to get back to ghost hunting.
Get back to normal,
And get back to normal, So this 2020 is kind of shitty so far.
Did you watch Tiger King? And if so, what are your thoughts on the show?
I think that Sally's the Tiger Queen, and I thought that show, I didn't want to watch it at first. I had no desire to watch a show about, like, this fucking gay Oklahoma gun-toting redneck meth head who breeds giant tigers and fucking does a whole bunch of stupid fucking shit. But my whole news feed on everything was, on Instagram, was just memes, and I began to know what was going on just because the memes. And I have Netflix, and I'm like, all right, well, I keep watching all these movies. Maybe I'll just watch this show to see what the hype is about. And normally I'm the kind of guy that goes against the grain and doesn't like do everything like that. But again, so many people were talking about it, and, like, you know, people were getting in my ear like, yo, you need to watch the show. You need to watch the show. So I was at my girl's house and I'm like, yo, did you hear about this show? And she's like, nah. And I gave her a rundown about it, and I'm like, do you wanna put it on? And we watched it from Friday into Saturday. We watched the whole series like last week. And it was I don't know, some Jerry Springer shit. I mean, it was very entertaining. Like, don't get me wrong. But I just want to say hashtag Carol Baskin killed her husband. But other than that, I mean, it was, I can't even believe this shit was real. Like, I'm like, this is the most absurd shit in the world.
Doesn't he have over like 200 tigers?
He has like crazy shit, just crazy. Like the music, like the country music video beefs, like oh, kitty kitty. And he's like having a lookalike like her, feed her the meat to the tiger is supposed to be her husband. That's like Jay-Z versus Nas, but like without a music video. You know what I'm saying? It's like taking it, like, I'm like, damn, this shit, these motherfuckers got beef, and one lives in Oklahoma, one's in Tampa, and they're like at each other's throats, and she's all trying to be quiet and trying to play the victim, and everyone hates her, and everyone likes him when he's really like
not the greatest guy.
Yeah, got like 2 husbands. They're like young dudes. He's feeding them meth. Like, I don't know, like, it's, the whole shit was just bizarre. Yeah. I was like, I'm kind of mad it's over. Like, I wish there was more. You know what I mean? Yeah. But we'll see what happens in the future if he gets out of jail or not. This whole thing has made like an uproar. So it was a fun watch. If you haven't seen it, watch it. You know, I tell a couple people that haven't seen it, and I was like, it's worth it. If, you know, we're all down here bored, quarantined, not doing anything, might as well watch it, you know?
What UFC fights would you like to see at the moment?
UFC 249 is like 2 weeks away. It was originally in Brooklyn, and it was Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Tony Ferguson for like the 5th time it got scheduled, and I had tickets to go with my boy Anthony, and they canceled it. So I'm getting my money back, which I'm going to use to just do studio shit with, studio time, and record my project, which is fine. It'll fund the the album, but I want to see that. So now they're talking about it's Conor McGregor versus Tony Ferguson, and they don't know where. Khabib's in Russia. I would like that fight to materialize eventually, maybe being Khabib's gonna go do Ramadan. He observes Ramadan. He's Muslim, so maybe when he comes out, like I think it's October they come out, and around November they usually go to Madison Square Garden. Maybe we'll see Khabib versus Tony Ferguson, Madison Square Garden in November. I could go. That'd be kind of dope. I would like to see. I want to see Frankie Edgar is finally going to drop to bantamweight to 135. He's a legend. He's my favorite fighter. I would like to see him take on a good opponent. I don't think they're going to give him an automatic title shot. I know Henry Cejudo is the champion right now, and he's fighting Jose Aldo. If he beats Jose Aldo, and like he picked Jose Aldo for the he's kind of called out who he wants because he's on that legendary status. If he beats him, and I say give Frankie Edgar like a young up and coming like Corey Sandhagen. He's like a young hungry lion. He's beating everybody. If he goes and beats him and like does like he did Yair Rodriguez and whatever, give him a title shot. I would like to see Frankie Edgar versus Henry Cejudo for the bantamweight title. That's my number one fight, and I obviously want Frankie to whoop his ass.
Who have you been listening to?
I've been listening to a lot of my girlfriend lives about 45 minutes from me. She lives up near Hartford, and I'm in New Haven. So when I go, I'm going to see her in a little while. When I go up there, I kind of YouTube an artist, put on an entire album, and let it rock. And I've been, I got a lot of discs and stuff too. So I've been listening to Wu-Tang sometimes. Like March 9th, the day Biggie died, I listened to all Biggie. So it really depends. But as of right now, I've been going through Esham's whole catalog. Some of it I know really well. Closed Casket, Tongues, Do You Believe in God, Multi-Killionaire, stuff like that. And then there's stuff he has a really extensive catalog, kind of like I do. And there's a lot of ones that I don't know that well, so I've been re-listening to everything. I just listened to the new Twisted album. I was unfamiliar with it. They have an album called Wicked. I don't really know it that well. I put that on one day. Some ICP, and then just little tiny things here and there, but I'm kind of just mixing up on the stuff that I don't know that well. As the 2005, 2006 came along, and I wasn't following those artists as hard as I was in the late 90s, early 2000s, and I was doing my own thing, and I was kind of focusing on that. I'm going back and they're albums that I've heard before, but I don't know that well, and I'm looking for a gem in there. You know what I mean? I was let me see what the dopest song on this is. Let me give it another listen to. I'm not familiar with it, so I just been doing that a lot. It's
Any news with the band?
We took a month off because my guitarist had to move, so we took a month off, and then we came back and we had a practice, and it was flawless and went real smooth, and then.
Quarantine.
Well, no, then there was a car issue with one of the members, and then someone didn't feel good 1 week, 2 weeks in a row, and now we're quarantined. So now we're off another month. So I know we've all been talking. We're all eager to get back in there. Maybe this Sunday, if you know what I mean, if we're all up for it, we'll go in the back and just jam and see what happens. But yeah, it's this quarantine thing, this coronavirus really kind of put everything on hold.
For everyone,
and that's the band is included. But we're working on stuff. We got a lot of tracks. We got 6 or 7 songs. We are ready to get to the point where we're going to start recording and doing shows and stuff. It's just this kind of was a little setback because of everything out of our control.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of trap rap?
Trap rap. I think I was young. When the golden, I don't remember 80s rap. I remember Run DMC, stuff like that, but I started liking rap around the Dr. Dre era, when I was 10, 11, 12, 13, throughout the 90s. 99, I was 17 or something like that. So through the 90s, I was in my early to mid-teens when the golden era of hip-hop, lyricism, New York hip-hop, even down south, the West Coast gangsta rap, the Death Row Bad Boy Beef, horrorcore in the Midwest was real dope. So I listen to all stuff like that, and that's kind of me being an East Coast guy. I kind of make the East Coast lyricism with the horrorcore mix and kind of do my own thing. So I don't really I don't listen to trap rap. It's the younger thing. A lot of the kids that are doing trap rap weren't even alive when I started rapping. You know what I'm saying? They're like younger. They all got their face tats and they all got gold teeth and the thing. And I'm not gonna sound bitter because there's enough. I'm glad that hip hop evolved enough that like there are different types of hip hop now, and like that's cool. It just kind of sucks that like World Star and stuff like that gives that a lot of credit and pushes that really hard, and it doesn't. You don't hear about artists like Nas and Jadakiss and the dudes from the '90s and stuff. They're older and stuff, but they still got stuff to say, and they're still really, really, really dope. And that's the stuff that we came up on. That now are being. I'm 37. I'm not gonna listen to an 18-year-old rapper that doesn't like get half the stuff that I get. Like, and I don't really like the mumbling. I think the beats are really not that good. They don't have the oomph like the no diggity beat. You know, like Murder Was the Case. I was just listening to those 90s beats. They don't have the boom bap style and everything like that. Not that I don't hate them. I'm not against it. Like I said, I think they can make their money and other rappers can make their money. It's just like I'm from a different generation. So for that generational gap, I'm not going to disrespect it because it's the new kids coming up. I could respect it as it evolved and there's a new style. I just wish that those kids, like half of them being born in the year 2000, not really knowing anything. I wish I read like stuff on there, like World Star interviews, and Lil Xan was talking about Tupac. Now, I was never like a huge fan of Tupac, but I would take Tupac over any rapper now. You know what I'm saying? Like in the 90s, he wasn't my favorite guy. Like I was into Biggie or whatever like that, but I mean, I like him, I just didn't love him. You know what I'm saying? But to have them say something about him when you're like an 18-year-old little kid from the suburbs talking about Tupac, like shit like that pisses me off. Yeah, it makes me mad. Yeah.
You weren't even alive when you
you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Yeah.
So you haven't been on social media except for once in a while to update your pages. Can you explain why you chose to do away with your personal account?
I think it's I kind of really matured in a lot of ways. Like I'm not like toxic, spewing venom, like bad mouthing people the way that I used to be like years ago. I'm like, the whole make fun of me for not the whole Joel Osteen thing that I listened to and stuff really kind of changed me. That I people come at me still, and people like 50 people need to message me and tell me, and I'm like, yo, like I'm about to start fucking backhanding everybody. Everybody suck my dick. I don't want to hear about it. I don't care. If someone's disrespecting me, I don't want to know. They don't have the balls to say it to my face. If I challenge them to a boxing match or a fucking MMA fight or anything like that, they won't fight me. They're staying behind the computer. They're making their diss songs. They won't fucking see me face to face. If they saw me face to face, they would be fucking absolutely terrified. Absolutely terrified. And I know that. So I'm not going to get myself all worked up and all heated now that I'm 37. I got good shit going on for me. I got the studio. I got my car. I got my girlfriend. I got fucking money. Everything is working out well for me. I don't have a criminal record. Everything is fine. Why am I going to sit there and sweat a bunch of dudes that are like that all they want to do is talk? I've given dudes opportunities. I'm like, if you don't like me, we could meet up and we could have a fair one, and then we could shake hands and call it over and done with, like back in the day. And they're like, nah, fuck, blah, 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 and they go and making their memes and they think it's funny. I'm like, yo, you guys are grown men. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're grown men. Like I don't. If you got a problem, like we could do it. You know what I mean? I'm alright with my hands. I'm not a bitch. You know what I'm saying? I'll you know what I mean? And I'm not afraid to fucking take a shot. I'm not afraid to lose. I'm 6'4". I'm 225 pounds. If I punch you, you're gonna feel it. You know what I mean? And like I said, I've taken some kickboxing. I've done some jiu-jitsu. I know how to fight. I'm not afraid of nobody. You know what I mean? And I'm crazy too. So like, you know what I mean? I'm not out looking for that beef no more. I don't care. I just don't care. I want to just do my own thing, and I want to focus on music and I just want to ignore everybody. I just want to be in my own little world, and I don't want people to know what's up with me. And unless like every once in a while we do something like this, or I update my Madecipha page, like, yo, new album coming out, yo, new video, blah blah blah, some shit like that. But for the most part, I kind of wanted to lay low and just be off the fucking radar. Like I got grown men stalking me. It's really uncomfortable. It's fucking. It's a weird feeling. You know what I'm saying? To have. The thing is, people made diss songs about me and this, that, and the third. And I don't really like harbor any animosity. I'm not looking. I don't care. I'm like, all right, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm fine. You know what I mean? I don't think about dudes. I'm not like making my moves based on someone else's moves, or wonder what they're doing, or what's this guy doing, or that guy doing, or blah blah blah. Like I just kind of
worry about yourself.
I worry about myself, and that's honest to God. And I really don't give a fuck. So I just, if you want to keep up with me and see what's going on, You know, you can follow me on, like, I got Instagram. I like Instagram. It's set to private. I got a community of oddities people up there, some rappers that I'm cool with. Post memes, pictures of my turtles, stuff like that, and it's all cool, and there's no drama. Like, it's fun. I don't gotta read the post of like, oh, this dog was burned in a fire by some guy, can it get 5 shares? And I just can't take that shit.
Yeah,
anymore.
no.
Facebook is just like, oh my god, it's fucking horribly toxic. And I just, you know, the babies with the 10 eyeballs and the fucking, she's still beautiful, you know. And everyone got sucked into it, and for a while I was sucked into it too, and I'm just like, I'm not fucking playing this game anymore. Like, this shit sucks. So I kind of hate Facebook, but you know, it is what it is.
Do you watch pro wrestling?
No, I don't watch pro wrestling. I'm way too into MMA to give a fuck about pro wrestling anymore. I think it's kind of weird when dudes are my age that grew up when the whole pro wrestling was dope, like Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man, Brutus Beefcake, like that era of wrestling, which is the wrestling that I did watch.
It's all scripted.
But I mean, it was still dope. It was like cool. There was no MMA at the time. That was like the fucking biggest thing in the world at the time, in those days. But you know, as I got older, I didn't really like it anymore. I found MMA. I keep tabs on wrestling. Like, I have a lot of friends that like wrestling. I got a couple of friends that are in their 20s. They talk wrestling to me. I know who the guys are. Like, I know who Roman Reigns is. I know who AJ Styles is. I know who Daniel Bryan is. I know fucking the Fiend Bray Wyatt. Like, I know the guys, but I don't watch the matches. I don't watch Raw. I don't watch SmackDown. I don't watch the pay-per-views. When wrestling lists come up on my Yahoo or something like that, or an interview, or they talk about it, I never let wrestling go, like, completely. Like, I couldn't, like, whatever. Like I said, I'll sit there and be like, oh, who won this? What happened at WrestleMania? Like, I'll read the spoilers and stuff.
You watch it.
But I don't give a fuck to watch it. I still watch, like, I'll go in there and watch, like, some classic wrestling, you know what I mean? Some early 90s, like some Demolition versus
Undertaker.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like, I'll put a card on from Boston Garden in the late 80s, stuff like that. I could still get down with and rewatch. But I mean, I'm just, like I said, now I'm just all about MMA. I made the transition from wrestling to MMA. I appreciate the golden era of wrestling, and in my heart, I still, you know, I would mark out if I saw Hulk Hogan. You know what I mean? I'd be like, oh shit, Hulk Hogan. You know what I mean? Stuff like that, like the old guys and stuff like that. Like, or I get sad when they die. When I find out wrestlers from my childhood die, I'm like, my mom calls me up. She's like, oh, so and so died. I'm like, oh, that sucks. When Macho Man died, I was bummed. I was at my old boss's house raking weeds and shit like that. He was paying me to do yard work, and my mom called me. She's like, Macho Man died, and it like ruined my whole day. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that. You know what I mean? I definitely still got love for wrestling, but I don't really fucking watch it.
So how do you feel about rapping now that you're 37 and been in the game for 17 years?
I do it just because I like it at this point. Like, I kind of, if you talk to Ryan Bond in like 2005, 2006, like I thought I had everything figured out and how it was all going to play out, and like I have this niche with the ghost hunting, and you know, my shit's pretty original, but you know, to be honest, bro, I mean, I'm really good at what I do. I know I'm a very talented lyricist, and you know, I have clever ideas and everything like that, but it really didn't work out the way that I thought it was going to, and I don't get the props that I'm going to. And I think for a long time, I was really bitter about that, and it kind of hurt me, and now I kind of just accepted it, and I'm like, you know, it kept me out of trouble. I made some friends, I lost some friends. I'm still going, like I'm still working on things. You never know what's gonna happen, but I think I let go of that whole like rap dream, like going on tour with ICP and fucking a bitch in every city and doing shit like that. I think I kind of let go of it. Like now I'm more or less like, you know, go see my girlfriend, think about starting to settle down. Now I'm 37, I don't have any kids. Do I want to have a kid? Do I not want to have a kid? What's going on with this? I've been doing real well with the oddities game. I've been selling a lot of like specimens and stuff like that. Do I want to make a show, like talking to people? Do I want to open up a shop? Do I not want to open up a shop? Books, stuff like that, like ghost hunting, art, grave rubbings. I started a paranormal society. I started a page for it. Do casework, videos. I start thinking about other endeavors that I want to get myself into business-wise, and still have my hustles and profit on a hobby and do other things like that. But it's not so much that I like fantasize about, you know, rocking big shows anymore or whatever like that. I think I just kind of accept the fact that it's for whatever reason, man. I like write my rhymes, and I like when I think of a dope line, I hold the pen up, and I always like give God credit, and like I'm thankful for like the talent that I have and that was bestowed upon me. But for some reason, being another, God doesn't want me to rap. I don't know what it is, and I'm not going to be angry about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to be like, all right, cool. I've tried to do it in my own strength regardless, and I probably will continue to try to do it in my own strength regardless because it's fun for me. It's like a crossword puzzle, and I like putting words together, and I enjoy it. I just know at this part in my heart